When I think back to when I was young, to when I was 18 as I was in this photograph, I think of so many things that I want to say to her, to my younger self. Here are 10 that I really, really wish she knew and would understand. The first one is that you're going to be okay. I need you to know that, because if you knew that, it would save you so much angst. You have to trust in life. You have to believe that everything takes you along a path that's going to get you to a place where you are okay. But you get there much sooner if I could just reach out all those years back and tell you, you are going to be okay. Number 2, all that time you spend reading, it's not a waste. You know how you're told, stop wasting time reading. It's not. It's part of who you are, part of who you're going to become. But lay off the existentialists a bit. Nietzsche, Sartre, lighten up. You're 18, for goodness sake. You don't have to keep overthinking. You don't have to solve the problems of the world. You don't have to feed that black dog that is going to follow you at different times throughout your life. Number 3, 20 is awfully young to get married. It's going to endure, but you don't know who you are yet. When your father gave you away, as we used to say all those years ago, who gives this woman to this man? You were still young. You needed to be able to give yourself to that marriage, not that symbolic handing over by your dad. And on that note, 22 is really young to have a baby. You're no more than a child yourself. I mean, you muddled through. You wouldn't have it any other way by the time you get to my age. 4 children is a lot. By the time you were 30, just after your 30th birthday, you're going to have number 4. So the whole of your 20s is going to be spent pregnant and breastfeeding and bringing up these tiny people. And on your second pregnancy, after the baby's born, you're going to suffer from postnatal depression. We didn't really know what it was back then. And you're going to beat yourself up and tell yourself what a bad mother you must be, because here was this beautiful, tiny, helpless little baby that you loved so much, but you felt so dark on the inside. You didn't have any help. You didn't have the support you needed. It wasn't your fault. And with all those children going through your 30s, bringing them up, yes, you made mistakes, but you loved them and you did your best. And they love you now. So you're going to be okay. Stop beating yourself up. You're doing your best. Number 5, try to train yourself not to care so deeply what other people think, other people's opinions. They don't actually think about you nearly as much as you think, you know. They're too busy being the centre of their own lives to really worry about you. But people who want to give you advice, stop first and look at their lives before you listen. Don't take advice from people who are living lives that you don't want. Just stop worrying about what they think. It's what you think that matters. Have the confidence to know that now. And again, it will save you so much heartache. On that note, number 6, this is so important. Do not silence yourself. And this is related to being caring what people think. You know, when you overheard those girls when you were in the school play, you were so full of it, you loved it so much being on the stage, and you overheard those girls criticise you and tell each other how you always had to have things your way, and you died a little bit inside and tried not to be quite so forward and quite so loud. Do you remember when you went to the debating society and you stood up to make a point and those boys behind you made a really nasty comment about the way you looked, and you sat down and flushed scarlet and never stood up and made a point again? Don't let that stop you. Don't make that decision to be quieter, to be smaller so that other people feel better, because that's what it's about. You're bright and you're beautiful. You're a tall poppy, and unfortunately, people like to cut down tall poppies. You stand proud. Don't let those winds of criticism make you snap your stems. You don't need to go down to the earth. Stay bright, stay shining. Don't push it all down and then wait until you're in your 50s to really be who you are. Number 8, and this is really important, and I need you to listen. You don't need to defer to men. I know, it's a radical idea, because the thing is, boys and men, particularly in those days, were brought up to behave as if they know. They know things. They know the right way to do things. But they don't. And it's going to take you until you're in your 50s to realise that your husband doesn't know. He just says things in such a confident way that you assume you must be wrong and he must be right. And it's rubbish. So get this into your head now at 18. You do not have to defer to men. Love them, yes. Defer to them, no. Number 9. Do you know what? You look great in that bikini. You know, the last time you wore a bikini was on your honeymoon when you were 20, because you caught a look on someone's face that you interpreted as criticism of the way you looked in your bikini. Well, guess what? I've seen photographs of you in that bikini, and you were beautiful. You are beautiful. Believe it. Don't spend years and years trying to diet yourself into thinness. You already are slender. You don't need to do that. Just be who you are. Just concentrate on movement and fitness. You don't need to deprive yourself. You don't need to feel less. And finally, and I want you to listen now, and anyone here who is in their 20s, 30s, anyone who needs to hear this, love is not conditional. You are worthy of love just for being. You don't have to earn it. I'm going to say that one more time. You are worthy of love just for being. Believe it and live your life happy.